and a solid last week to start the season. How tough is it for you guys in this game tonight?
It doesn't matter which game we play with Windsor. It's always going to be a tough game because they're our arch rivals. We come to battle, and they're here to battle too. So it should be a good game.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck tonight. That's everything from Rob Annan, the head coach of the London Beefeaters. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks a lot, Becca. So we hear from Coach Annan of the London Beefeaters, and you got to love a guy that comes back to the organization. But you did that. You coached, as you mentioned, with the Fratmen after your playing days were done, and boy, that can only help an organization. What do you know about Coach Annan, and what does he bring to the table?
Well, the first thing he did say, and I know he knows what it's like, this is a rivalry game, and you can throw stats out the window even if you don't have stats, and this is their first game of the year. So he's going to bring a passion, having played for the Beefeaters, against this WindsorAKO Fratmen football team, and that is the number one thing the players want to see. They want to see passion from their head coach and really believe that this game matters. And that's what he's going to bring. It's going to be his first game here. He knows what it's going to take. He's looking again to see what his players are going to do.
Good evening and welcome to the Windsor Stadium, the site of week number 2 of the Ontario Football Conference schedule. It's the WindsorAKO Fratmen hosting the London Beefeaters. Good evening and welcome to this edition of the AKO Kickoff pregame show. My name is Dominic Papa. Glad to be back for another season of OFC football and Fratmen football here on we-tv.ca. Joining us on the first telecast for the season, a very knowledgeable football guy, a former All-Star AKO Fratmen player himself. He's worked on our broadcast for the last couple of years. Badia Quas joins us in studio, and thanks for helping us out again this year, Badia. And you know what? Exciting times here with the Fratmen. They come into this year as a 2-time defending OFC champions, and a lot of turnover. But you know what? They go into Hamilton last week, win a huge game against the Hurricanes, a lot of new faces. So it sounds like things are pointing in the right direction for Coach LaChance and the gang.
Absolutely. Looking at the roster and being at a couple practices early in the year, they definitely reloaded. They filled in a few of the gaps that they lost to graduation, and definitely being 2-time champions, they're not just looking to defend. They're looking to really put a message to the league and say we are the clear-cut conference best.
And they made that statement last week, or at least got it going anyways. As Badi just mentioned, early in the season, you want to get out there, you want to really put things in place. I guess, how much stock do you put into it this early, Badi, with a win like that? And of course, again, we did mention there's a lot of new faces on this team. I'm sure Coach LaChance is still, maybe even fair to say, experimenting somewhat.
Absolutely. Most times, the first game of the year, you're looking for the result in terms of a win because you always want to win the game. However, when you break down the film, the one thing you're trying to do early in the season is correct and identify your players. Correct what you can correct and identify if you have your players in the right position. Right now, they saw some good things from their perimeter play. Their running game seems to be solid, but they have to still identify who is the best fit at receiver, inside or outside. Who's the best fit at fullback, tailback, and they're going to work through that. And the growing pains early in the season are going to focus particularly on what they're trying to do and to ensure that by week 7, week 8, priming for the playoffs, that their team and their players are in the best position to win another championship.
How much does Coach LaChance rely on his returning core, I guess? But he's got some key guys that have won championships. They know what it takes. Does he lean on them a little more during the start of this season?
Absolutely. It starts with your quarterback, and Austin is now a 2-time champion at this level, and you start with him and you say, okay, Austin, we're going to make sure that you command the offense. And then on defense, of course, you're looking for that player who's going to be that pressure guy. I know Coach Morency likes to put a lot of heat, and they're looking for a guy. Maybe it's Anthony McDonald again. I know a couple years ago he had an all-Canadian type campaign, and they're looking for the guy who's going to be that you're going to have to double team, or else he's going to get to your quarterback. So you rely on those veterans to step it up. And then once in a while, you do get surprised by that freshman who comes in and really, really takes the league by storm.
A player that you're very familiar with in that backfield, Jared McCann. This kid just, you know what, I know Coach Morency was raving about him the other day. Just loves this guy. And there's another player I think Coach LaChance, Coach Morency and them really look to give them leadership and also to make some noise out there.
Yeah, Cody played for me at the high school. And accompanying him also is Spencer Revenberg, who also played for me at the high school at Essex, and both of them are tanks. Cody has the ability to make a guy miss, but trust me, you'll see it in today's game as we broadcast it, that he will take every opportunity to run over somebody. He is a physical player. He's somebody who you can depend on to handle the rock. And, yeah, like you said, Coach Morency and Coach LaChance look to him to be that power back for this offense.
Let's take a look at the early season standings. We've only got 1 week in, so like I said, only a couple of the other teams have played so far. You can see the AKO Fratmen, though, with their victory over Hamilton, sitting in first place, a 35-14 victory. Hamilton will try to make up for that this weekend. They're on the road. They'll take on, I believe it is, I want to say Grand Prairie, but we'll get that in a little bit for you. But the Fratmen in first place. Burlington won their home opener, obviously, against the GTA Grizzlies 10-6. So those are the only 4 teams that have played. Hamilton and Grand River play tomorrow at Grand River, so they'll look to get into the win column. All buys this week for Ottawa, GTA, and Burlington. So not a very busy weekend of football in the Ontario Football Conference. One person that is keeping busy, though, that is our Becca Luden. She returns this year for the to be part of the broadcast team here at WeTV. So let's head outside to Becca, and she has one of the coaches with her. Good evening to you, Becca.
Thanks, Dom. I'm here on the field with head coach of the London Beefeaters, Rob Annan. So this is your first week of the 2015 season. Coming off of a first week bye, what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of that?
You get a little bit more time to practice to gel as a team.
Now, seeing your team only in the practice setting, what are some of the weaknesses and strengths that you've seen?
Well, weaknesses, just new guys coming in, learning positions. Strengths, seeing returning players coming back, and they're coming alongside the young guys to help them learn.
Awesome. And now that you've seen some of the league last week, how do you think that the league as a whole looks this season?
Well, the first game is always a hard one because you can't judge the rest of the season because all the teams are in the same position we're in with not enough players to start. As the next couple weeks go by, they'll add more players just like we will. And their talent will get better as well.
Now, as a previous player of the Beefeaters, what's it like to go from a player to now the head coach? How's that for you?
Oh, it's hard. I still want to smack some guys, but hey, you can't do that as a head coach.
For sure. And now, going to this game, the Fratmen, the 2 times champions of the OFC title, and a solid last week to start the season. How tough is it for you guys in this game tonight?
It doesn't matter which game we play with Windsor. It's always going to be a tough game because they're our arch rivals. We come to battle, and they're here to battle too. So it should be a good game.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Good luck tonight. That's everything from Rob Annan, the head coach of the London Beefeaters. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks a lot, Becca. So we hear from Coach Annan of the London Beefeaters, and you got to love a guy that comes back to the organization. But you did that. You coached, as you mentioned, with the Fratmen after your playing days were done, and boy, that can only help an organization. What do you know about Coach Annan, and what does he bring to the table?
Well, the first thing he did say, and I know he knows what it's like, this is a rivalry game, and you can throw stats out the window even if you don't have stats and this is their first game of the year. So he's going to bring a passion, having played for the Beefeaters, against this WindsorAKO Fratmen football team, and that is the number one thing the players want to see. They want to see passion from their head coach and really believe that this game matters. And that's what he's going to bring. It's going to be his first game here. He knows what it's going to take. He's looking again to see what his players are going to do, how they're going to respond to whether it's adversity or even success, depending on how the game goes. But you know he's going to bring his passion from his playing days to the coaching.
He'll also have to be patient, but he doesn't have a big roster here tonight, and I'm sure he's waiting from the Western Mustangs. There's a good affiliation there, working between the Mustangs and the Beefeaters. I'm sure Coach Annan will be getting some of those cuts from Coach Marshall there, sent down his way, and fill out that roster a little bit more. So his players, if anything, he's going to get a good look at his players to see what he does have.
Absolutely, and it is the growing pains of having an affiliation like this with the Western Mustangs. Although they only have some 38 players dressed for today's game, they will add to that. But the key in this case scenario is with 38 players on the field, all of them are going to get on the field. And he's going to get an opportunity to evaluate all his players right now. And that's something a lot of coaches don't have the luxury of doing. You might have a 45-man dress roster, but sometimes you only play, let's say, 30 of them. Well, it's a hot day today. It's early. It's the first game of the year. They're not up to game speed. So every one of those 38 players have to be on the field. So it's a little bit of an advantage from that perspective. He's going to see what he has, and then he'll get the benefit of the roster cuts from Western to help them in the future.
Yeah, I don't think anybody will be complaining about playing time tonight, buddy. So that's for sure. Speaking of rosters, Coach Mike Lachance has his roster in place for tonight's game. Good numbers for him to work with. Becca Luden is back out in the field with Coach Mike Lachance. Let's head back out there right now with Becca.
Thanks, guys. I'm now here with head coach of the Fratmen, Mike Lachance. So now a nice win last weekend, and now a big roster turnover from last season. So what did you learn about your team last weekend after the win?
You know what? We're a big physical bunch that we're probably a little more aggressive than we were last year up front on offense, and our quarterback's come a long way. Hopefully he keeps up that trend. In practice, he's taking control, and he knows this is kind of his team, and the team's rallied around him last week, and he was more efficient. So, you know what? It was good steps in the right direction, but we got a lot of learning to do and a lot of growing still.
So now you guys have built a really good name for yourself with two championships, both back-to-back. How is that spilling over into this season?
I think the expectation to win and the expectation for greatness when people step on the field, whether they're first-year players or fourth-year players, is there, and that's what we want. We want that attitude where guys walk out on the field, not that they think that they're privileged enough and that they're entitled to a win, but that if they play well, they deserve it. So,
now going back to week one, again, a good win. What did you think about the game and how they played?
I thought we played really well. I mean, we jumped out on them early, and we were able to hold that lead. We had a lot of mistakes along the way. I think we had 16 penalties, so there's a lot to learn from. And coaching wise, it was kind of a good game because we played really well. Yet we made enough mistakes that in film you could bring your guys down and humble them a little bit. So it was a good first step in the right direction.
And now this weekend, another tough game, another rivalry game against London. How tough will it be tonight to get another win?
It's going to be tough. I mean, they've always got a good product, and certainly the tie with Western helps them. I said that last year, and their team will get stronger as they go. They don't have a big number today. I think they're around 40 dressed, and I'm sure when Western makes their cuts, they'll get another 20 guys. They're in a good situation there. A little bit envious that they have a university in town to the quality of Western. We don't have the depth here to do that kind of thing, but they'll get stronger as the year goes on. I'm sure their coaching staff will take advantage of that affiliation.
All right, thanks, Mike, and good luck in tonight's game.
Thanks.
That's everything from down here on the field. Back to the guys in the studio.
Thanks a lot, Becca. Thanks a lot, Coach Lachance. Coach Lachance, always, you know what? I love Coach Lachance. He takes nothing for granted. He knows London has a short roster here, but he even says this is going to be a tough game. He knows what London brings to the table.
Yeah, he said they made 16 mistakes or 16 penalties. You give a team, I don't care who they are, 16 penalties and that much yardage, they can make the game interesting and they can steal one from you. So he's correct when he says he can bring his team down a notch and build off it, and you can never take a rivalry opponent for granted. And that's why he said, whether it's a fourth-year player or a first-year player, they're trying to demand excellence from all of their players. Excellence doesn't mean perfection. There's a big difference between the two. He wants to see that kind of effort that is going to translate down the road into a championship. And I guarantee you they will be very critical of their players and their effort after this game.
He evaluates the players. What about Coach Lachance himself, though, Buddy? You know him very well. You were playing when he was playing, and you guys have a lot of great football knowledge together. But, he's got 2 championships under his belt now. He's got a pretty good squad coming back this year. How much has he evolved as a head coach, and where do you think he's really grown into a good head coach?
Having worked with Mike for the better part of a decade, I know he's very critical of himself. And the first person he looks at when something goes wrong is himself. We spent countless hours trying to be better coaches, and he doesn't take anything for granted, because there was a long stretch where we came up short in the conference final, losing, being there every single year. 2 in a row is great, But 2 in a row is that it. It's 2 in a row. He wants to keep this thing going, and the first person he will check is always himself. He is humble enough to know that his hard work has to always keep pressing forward. He can't rest on the laurels of 2 championships, and I guarantee you right now that he's not looking at those 2. He is looking forward at a 3rd.
Yeah, you won't settle just for 2, that's for sure. We're going to take a quick time out here on the AKO Kickoff pregame show. When we come back, we'll take a look at the out-of-town games taking place this weekend. We'll also get our final comments from our analyst, Badia Kwas, on tonight's game. We'll have that for you right after these messages. You're tuned in to the AKO Kickoff pregame show on we-tv.ca.
Tom is trying to justify buying a new car. That should do it.
Need a good reason? There's never been a better time to get yourself into the best-selling car in Canada for 17 years. Now during the Honda Model Clearout, get a $1,000 Civic bonus when you finance any new 2015 Civic model.
It's the feeling you get when it all rushes back. The lights, the sounds, the thrill. This memory has been earned and preserved for a lifetime. Every ring has its story. What will yours say?
Welcome back to the Windsor Stadium, the AKO Kickoff pregame show. Week number 2 of the OFC football schedule. Dominic Papa along with Badia Kwas. Badia will be joining Brian Thompson up in the broadcast booth to bring you all the action between the Fratmen and the London Beefeaters here on we-tv.ca. One other game that's going to take place this weekend, it goes tomorrow afternoon. That's Hamilton will travel to the GTA to take on the Grizzlies. That's a 2 o'clock game. Both those teams 0-1 after week 1 last week. But buys this week go to Ottawa, Burlington, and Grand River. Fratmen will get Ottawa next week coming off a bye. London coming off a bye. Bidi, Fratmen probably need a bye after the Ottawa game, right?
Absolutely, and actually it's going to be London's first game as well. So they're going to be real amped up to want to play. The key here is going to be making sure that they come out of it unscathed. I know playing 2 games early right off the bat, you don't want to see any injuries, so you hope you get through this game, get into that Ottawa game, because again, that's usually a team that is pretty physical as well. You get through that, and then you can reap the rewards of your own bye and start piecing together your game plan getting into the playoffs.
All right. Here's where I like to put our experts a little bit on the spot here, Bidi, but a prediction on tonight's game and what's going to be the difference here, whichever team you're picking with. Obviously, I'm going to go with the Fratmen. I think the depth that they have in their roster will become a factor tonight because it's a pretty warm night here in southwestern Ontario. That may catch up to the players of the London Beefeaters, but I also just think we alluded to it a little bit earlier. Some of the experienced guys, McCann, Lumley, guys like that will step up and be the difference. Where are you calling this game?
Well, I'm definitely going to go with the home team. I think AKO is the better team at this point in time, even though we haven't seen London based on what I've seen personally at their practices. So I do believe the game is going to fall squarely on the shoulders of the offensive line. Might be cliche, me being an offensive line guy as well. I think the bigs up front command the line of scrimmage, even on defense. And I think the one thing that AKO really has improved on is overall team speed, and I think that's going to be showcased today as well.
Well done, Bidi. I'll let you get upstairs to your broadcast partner, Brian Thompson. Great to have you back with us this year. Certainly appreciate all your wonderful knowledge, that's for sure. That's it. That's our first AKO Kickoff pregame show. We're set to go. We'll have all the action for you here on we-tv.ca. Brian Thompson and Badia Kwas with the call. So on behalf of everybody here at we-tv.ca, this is Dominic Papa wishing you a great night. Enjoy the game, and we'll talk to you all again very soon.
the field, about to kick off at Windsor Stadium with the Fratmen against London for the Fratmen's home opener. Currently 1-0. I spoke earlier with Anthony McDonald from the Windsor Fratmen. He said this week's practice went really well, although a little tougher to prepare for a team that hasn't played a game yet this season. But what London has won't dictate how the Fratmen play, as they've done every game so far and last season. That's everything from down here on the field. Back to the guys in the booth.
Well, happy days are here again. Hello, Windsor, Essex County, and all our viewers tuning in from London, of course, all around Ontario. Brian Thompson along here with Bidikwa, and it is home opener for the WindsorAKO Fratmen, coming in off their win in Hamilton, here taking on the Beefeaters in their first game. Welcome to the booth, Bidi, and it's going to be hopefully a very good game today.
Yeah, let's hope. Beautiful weather. The Fratmen are coming off, as you said, a big win, looking to improve to 2-0 and build on the success from previous week.
Clark Green will be here to kick the ball off in this homestand here at Windsor Stadium. Still going strong here in Windsor. London won the toss. London, they deferred, so London will receive. Windsor will get the ball in the second half.
And this is a common theme. I know Coach Morency all the time likes to set the tone on defense. So by getting your coverage unit out, maybe you get a big hit, pin the team deep, and let your defense set the tone early, and hopefully shorten the field for your offense.
Not sure the delay here. The referee's on the sideline discussing something with London crew and brand new coach for London, Rob Annan.
Now, my guess is they're just defining the boundaries. Both teams are on the same sideline, and oftentimes you're going to get teams wanting to creep closer and closer and closer to the midfield. There has to be approximately a 20-yard buffer between both benches, so you're probably going to get the officials just saying each team stays on their 45 all the way down pretty much to their 5-10-yard line, and make sure you don't encroach on that area.
Well, while we're waiting, did you get to watch any of the first game, Windsor-Hamilton? Give us your thoughts.
I did not get to watch any live. I did get in to sit in a film session with Coach LaChance for about 10-15 minutes, and like he said in the pregame, they made a bunch of mistakes, and he was pointing them out. This early in the season, I know what he's trying to do is identify his players, identify their strengths, identify also what they don't do as well, and improve on those and eliminate some of the mistakes. And it appears the conference is done and the referees are taking their position on the field right now, hopefully for this opening kickoff here at Windsor Stadium.
Well, a very good crowd on hand so far for this opener. I'd say at least a couple hundred people here. London in the blue with red trim and silver helmets. The Fratmen in their traditional white jerseys with black and gold helmets. And I think we are finally going to get underway. There's the referee's whistle and Clark Green with the kick, and we are underway. A bit of a squib kick. Handled there by Isaac Smith. Going up the middle, runs into one of his own men, number 89, Lee Purnell. And the Beefeaters will start on offense.
Short kick. Didn't really get too much depth, but the coverage was very good. The return man didn't really have much room to work with, and they're going to start just inside their own 30-yard line.
So a bit of question at who would start at quarterback today. And it looks like it is going to be number 14, Blake Huggins. Pass to his right. Good catch. That'll be about 7 yards.
Good opening play for the Beefeaters. Quarterback didn't even let the pressure come close to him, took the snap, and immediately released the ball on a quick little hookup with his receiver. Looked like it was number 88, Justin Smith, for a good opening play of 5 yards.
So 2nd and 5 here. 3 receivers to the left. Griffiths once again in pass, finds his man, complete. Dragged down, he's going to be a couple yards short of the first down there. That was Dakota Vine on the reception. See if they go, and they elect to kick.
Yeah, early on they have to kick. I like the concept of the play, getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands right away, not letting the Fratmen pressure get to him, but that's a fundamental error on the receiver. You need 5 yards. You got to drive that route to at least 7 so that if you have to come back a little, you still get the yards to gain. He caught the ball at 3.5 yards and was driven back a yard, and they came up short.
Beautiful static feedback here at Windsor Stadium. Kick landing at about the 45. Flag on the play. And nothing going there, and the Fratmen will get back to offense.
Yeah, the Fratmen opted to set up a return there, and the kick was exceptionally short, and the Fratmen return men weren't able to field the ball in the air, but it looked like it was a no yards play, probably the 5-yard variety because it was a bounce back. So the Fratmen will likely just pick up 5 yards and move closer to the midfield stripe. And actually, they're walking off a full 15, so that means it must have hit the London player on the bounce back, which gives them great field position as they start on the Beefeaters' 51-yard line.
So a good chunk of the core, the team that's defending their 2-time OFC championship returning, including starting quarterback Austin Lumley. He'll be behind center with 2 men at running back, including cloud favorite Cody McCann. It's past the left side, complete. Steven Russo on the play, dodging 2, 3, 4 tackles, and a very hard gain 6 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 4.
And that's something Coach LaChance told me they've been working extremely hard at, getting those quick throws out to the perimeter players and letting their perimeter players either block or make one man miss. And in this case, it was a combination of both, and a real good gain, giving them a 2nd down and short, which possibly means it's 3-down territory, depending on what they gain here, of course.
Once again, McCann in his usual position, sticking close to Lumley. And it's a handoff. Botkich getting around the side, and that's more than enough for the 1st down. Good little run there.
Yeah, it looked like he bounced that a little early because it looked like his right tackle, Adam Abasafea, was sealing, turning his guy out a little bit. So he could have probably stuck that inside a little, but a good nose for the 1st down.
See what the Fratmen do here. They're pushed on the left side of the field. They stick with 2 receivers to the left. Lumley looking right. Runs up the middle. Trying to get around his man. Might have lost a yard there, tops. Decent save there by Lumley.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the pocket completely collapsed on him. I'd like to see Austin, as he steps up into the pocket, keep his eyes downfield a little bit more with the intent to throw. It looked like he tucked it real quick. No gain at the play. It's a safe play in that you're not going to turn the ball over, but it puts you in that 2nd and long situation.
That was the first running play of the game. So now 2nd and 10 here for Lumley. Flag on the play. He throws right. Finds man, but tipped there by number 13, Kevin Griffiths. We'll see what that flag is, though.
And we got a flag on the play, and that was a dangerous throw because that, if it is picked off, it goes the other way. They had high-low coverage in the flats here with a single receiver, defender underneath the coverage. We have a procedural call offside against the Fratmen. I suspect they're going to decline that, and that is in the indication. And as you see, that is Alex Jemmy, who is our head referee, number 74. The umpire today is Jay Schroeder, number 19. Head linesman is Brent Webster, number 8. Your line judge today is Trevor Hayes, number 11. Bruce Carter serves as your back judge, wearing number 68. Your side judge is John Dodson, number 73. And rounding up the crew is number 23, Kirk Hayes, and he is your field judge.
Looks like they're going for field goal.
Yeah, Coach LaChance said he's quite confident with his crew from 45 yards and in, and that is indeed the case. A slight wind at his back, but this is going to be all of 45 yards.
So see what Green can do here. Low kick. And just clears the uprights. Great job there by Clark Green. And the Fratmen are first on the board, leading 3-0.
And that is a luxury the last couple years, having a strong leg kicker. I don't know if he meant to drive it that low, but oftentimes on long kicks, you have to drive it low to ensure that you get the power in the kick. And like you said, he just got it over, but style points don't matter. It's the 3 points that do. And as you can see, the Beefeaters have opted to scrimmage 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line after the field goal.
So we'll see how the Beefeaters respond here. Blake Huggins at a shotgun with the handoff. And a good gain of about 5 yards there. Number 7 on the play, Kevin Pham.
A solid run. Nice first play for the Beefeaters. Again, that's a good first down play, much like the last possession. A good surge on their offensive line there, giving them a 2nd and manageable.
So 2nd and 5, 2 receivers to the left. Looking up the middle, pass complete, more than enough for a first down and pushed out of bounds. Good catch there by Shaquille Johnson. And it'll be a first down for the Beefeaters.
A nice job by the London offensive line and backfield protecting Huggins, allowing him to deliver the throw. They brought some heat, a little delayed dog off the quarterback's backside. Didn't get there and allowed him to pick up the first down.
3 straight completions so far for Blake Huggins. Quick little pass, another catch there by Shaquille Johnson, but loses his footing. He's going to lose about 3 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
That was number 17, Tyler Story. He was about a half step away from really getting a great jump on that and maybe working the other way. They took a little bit of a gamble throwing. It looked like almost a lateral, and it ended up costing him 2 yards.
So a big 2nd and 12 here as the Beefeaters will try and get on the Fratmen side of the field. 2 receivers to the left. Griffiths throw. Catch there by Lindanowicz. Well short of the first down here, and the Beefeaters will have to kick.
And that's exactly the kind of coverage on the back end Coach Morency wants to see. They brought pressure with their front 4, but when it's 2nd down and long like that, you're going to give up the 3-yard out with full confidence that your secondary is going to come up and make the tackle, and that's exactly what number 31 Trey Hill did.
Matt Wolf will kick. Josh Wright and Levi Noel back for the kick return. And immediately flags all over the play here. Josh Wright dodging a couple tackles. Gets tackled right by the flag marker. We'll see what those flags are.
I suspect it was some sort of illegal substitution. Oftentimes when you see a flag come out that quickly, it's a numbers game. Either they had too many on the field or they made a late substitution.
We await the decision.
That is
indeed
the indication. It is an illegal substitution. So I believe it's a 10-yard penalty. It's not going to give the Beefeaters a first down. It's going to give them a 3rd and 1, which gives them options maybe to put their offense back on the field. And if that is the case, they're going to take a little bit of a gamble.
I don't think so.
Right
No, Matt Wolf's still on the field.
But now you might have to be a little more cognizant about the fake, because even a poorly designed or executed fake might still get you 1 yard. But you give them 10 yards of field position because you were in a position to have the ball near your own 45, and now your return men are set at their own 15.
Darren Bekius on the left side for the Beefeaters. Let's see if he's a decoy. And that he is. High punt. That's taken by Wright. And upended out of bounds. Big hit there. And we'll see if Fratmen can put more points on the board.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Beefeaters, the coverage wasn't there. They pinned them to the sideline, but their coverage didn't get down that sideline, and the Fratmen ended up picking up about 4 yards. Had they not accepted the penalty and opted to let the first kick stand, the Fratmen would have been pinned a little deeper, but good field position for AKO.
This Fratmen team put up 35 points last week in their win in Hamilton. Now with the home field advantage, we'll see if the offense can keep rolling. Lumley with 2 receivers to his right. And it's the handoff, and not much doing that. A couple of good broken tackles there. Armin Botkic fighting for every last inch.
That was some real good penetration from the force unit on that defensive right for the Beefeaters. It looked like it was led by number 40 for the Beefeaters, Wasim Gazail. I believe he's a Kennedy product, just next door here to Windsor Stadium. And it actually should have been a loss, but good run picking up 3 yards there.
Levi Noel single receiver to the right. As the handoff to McCann, he puts his head down getting a couple yards. And it'll be third down. It looks like a quick 2-and-out here for the Fratmen.
Yeah, that was a better executed run. Cody was able to stick his nose in there, pick up 4 yards. But when you are second down and 7.5, it does cripple you. They tried to power one up there thinking they were going to get some loose force unit. They didn't, and good job on the Beefeaters to force the first punt of the game for the Fratmen.
Isaiah Naganga back for the kick along with Derek Coleman. As we'll see which way Clark Green puts this. And he will hit it right to Naganga back on his own 10. Couple jukes. And good tackle there by Adam Chin. And a lot of field for the Beefeaters to cover here with 1:43 left in the first quarter. 3-0. The Fratmen lead here.
Yeah, real good coverage there. Excellent kick. It looked like the Beefeaters had a little bit of pressure, so you expect that the coverage is going to get down there because they didn't really set up a return. They maybe tried some sort of block. Wasn't super well executed, but nonetheless, the Fratmen did a great job covering that, pinning the Beefeaters inside their own 15-yard line.
Griffiths with the bevy of options. Not much of a run game here for this Beefeaters team as he throws to his right. And there is an incompletion. You don't see too many of those. Shaquille Johnson, the intended receiver. It'll be second down.
And early on, the coach from the Beefeaters opted to move the pocket a little, give his quarterback a little bit more of a viewing lane on an isolation comeback route. Well defended by the Fratmen, forcing that incompletion and bringing up a second and long.
A very strong defense that the Fratmen bring in this year. Of course, only allowing 14 points in Hamilton. 3 receivers to the left of Huggins. He throws right, airs it out deep for Johnson, and bobble, but no catch. A great job on the breakup by Trey Hill, and it'll be a quick 2-and-out here for the Beefeaters.
That's something that I know Coach Morency is going to talk to Trey about. He was in good position there, but he lost sight of the ball and the receiver at some point. He turned the wrong way. Had he turned into the receiver, he might have been able to actually make a play on the ball. He was in good position, but you still have to complete and execute all facets of the coverage. This is going to force that punt. Maybe you'll see the Beefeaters concede the safety here.
Matt Wolf been a busy man here in this first quarter. As he punts it, not a good one at all, landing at about the 24-yard lines and taking a Fratman bounce. And the ball spotted around the 30-yard line, I'm sorry.
Yeah, now here's the unique situation. That was the punter. And on a short kick and for yards to gain, the punter can recover the kick. And as long as there was no one in the no yards, which it didn't look like it, I believe the London Beefeaters are going to gain possession here again on that short kick, giving them a first down. And that is indeed the call. The Beefeaters, Wolf didn't compound a problem by sulking. He noticed that he shanked a kick, and it was going to the sideline. It took an extremely favorable bounce and stayed in play. And all he has to do is be the last person to touch it before it goes out of bounds. The flag comes out because the referee has to throw a no yards, but then they consult and realize that's the kicker. And it's a little quirky rule we have here in Canada, but that is indeed the case as the Beefeaters get a special teams break.
Bizarre. So go Beefeaters. They get another chance here on offense. Huggins shotgun. They run to Johnson. Eaten up in the backfield. Great job. Losing his helmet on the play there, but tackle made by Dylan Grondin. And it'll be second and long for the Beefeaters.
History has told me, watching so many Fratmen games, particularly with Coach Morency as the defensive coordinator, that a lot of jet sweep type plays that are one-faceted, where it's full flow. The defense is so fast that they get there. It's not necessarily a great play, but maybe the Beefeaters are trying to set something up off of it, which is why they run a token play like that. But they do pigeonhole themselves at 2nd and 15.
Kevin Pham in the backfield. Another pass by Huggins. He just dumps it off to Pham. Pham getting a block and pushing up. It's good for about 10 yards on the play, but not enough for a first down. And here comes Matt Wolf for, I think we're at his 5th or 6th kick already.
And that's a standard type play when it's 2nd and long. You allow the penetration to get there. Early in the season, some of the defensive line, they get a little excited when they see a free release to the quarterback. They'll learn a little bit more discipline, maybe get their hands up sooner or even break off and make the tackle. But it's still 7 yards short of the yards to gain.
Levi Noel and Josh Wright back. And Noel and Wright fighting over the ball. Wright takes it. And doesn't get much footing to go far. Start on his own 50. Decent position here for the Fratmen with 5:27 remaining here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and I've always been a big advocate of one thing on punt return or kickoff return. Catch the ball in the air. When you do catch the ball in the air, more times than not, you're going to fall forward for about a first down. If you get anything else, great. And that's exactly what happened. Even though two guys bumped into each other, they still caught it in the air and set themselves up with great field position.
Lumley elects to pass. Noel on the catch. Makes a juke, gets the first down and more. Oh, great run there by Noel. Never giving up on the play. And that's big yards.
Yeah, this is the conference offensive player of the year. Of the week. Maybe I'm a little foreshadowing because I believe he's capable of being the offensive player of the year. A talented receiver. They will play off of him all day long. So if Austin wants to throw that quick little hitter and let him beat one guy, you're going to see that play maybe go for 40 or even longer.
Lumley 2 for 3 so far on the day. Looking for another quick pass. Takes, running's out of options and just takes out of bounds for the loss. Good coverage there by the Beefeaters defense.
Yeah, they tried a boundary side slip screen, and the Beefeaters actually crowded the line of scrimmage there. They really pressed the issue, and they took away that first option. And because the other receivers appeared to be engaged in a block, Austin really did not have much to do, and as a result, took a 7-yard loss.
So we'll see what Coach Lasange digs up here in the second down. And they're ruling in 17. Looking like a run play here. And it is. They just give to McCann. He barrels through. Oh, fumble on the play. And it is Beefeaters' ball. Cody McCann coughing up the ball.
2nd and long, and Coach LaChance goes back into the old school playbook with an inside trap, and the penetration collapsed the play at the point of attack, and Cody tried to just lower his head and barrel through. Unfortunately, he did not secure the ball. He has to keep 2 hands on the ball. The bottom line is you can't turn the ball over there because you can punt and pin them deep, and they just set up the Beefeaters with great field position.
So back on the field real quick, Kevin Griffiths. Low snap. Gets the ball, hits his target. And then Banowich getting about 4 yards on the play. It's a little quick passing plays that are working more efficiently for the Beefeaters, but unfortunately they're always not getting much good field position to start.
Yeah, the goal of those short passes is just to protect the passer without necessarily having a block for him, just to get rid of it real quick. The D-line's going to have to adjust and get their hands up because Huggins isn't very big.
Catch there by Lee Purnell. And that's enough for the first down. And for the first time today, the Beefeaters are actually in Fratmen territory.
Yeah, and little things that Coach LaChance talked about in the pregame, which were simple mistakes and some penalties, and those things have already appeared early on in this game. They're making a few too many mistakes right now.
That's 8 completions now for Huggins here in the first quarter. Back in shotgun, the handoff. And absolutely nowhere to go for Kevin Pham, losing about 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, that was big number 40. Dalton Wilkinson wrapped him up, and at best he got back to the line of scrimmage, but it looks like it was a real short loss, so it's going to bring up 2nd and long here.
Tyler Story in the backfield for the Fratmen, looking for any long balls. Justin Smith deep at left. Huggins looking right. And intercepted! AKO with the big interception. It's number 15, Richard Venestra.
Yeah, that was excellent. Richard saw the quarterback rolling in that side, and he sat and squatted, and he took away the inside underneath passing lane. And you'll see here on the replay as Huggins sprints out to his right here, his eyes lock in one spot. He looks. Richard saw him, and he undercut it. He was watching him the entire time. If Richard had maybe one more foot of sideline, he might have been able to take that up the sideline.
But he didn't. So Lumley back with the ball as we're under 2 minutes here in the first quarter. Under center. Hand off to Bezaire, and he fights to get back to the line of scrimmage for 2nd down.
So far, the run game has been a little bit of a struggle. The Beefeaters have picked correctly. They've sent pressure, and that's disrupt the flow. The initial penetration has caused the running back to make an early cut deep in his backfield. If they can pick up that initial penetration, those 2 or 3 yard runs can turn into 6 or 7.
We saw both teams airing the ball out to start this game and now going for more short yardage situations. Going for a bit more of a chess match here with time running out here in the first quarter. Lumley back in his usual shotgun formation. 3 receivers to his right. Looking deep, looking long, and great catch! Levi Noel jumping and holding on to the ball as he was hit. Excellent hit there by Taryn Bekus for London. But great job holding on by Noel and a big 1st down Fratmen.
Yeah, Noel did a nice job of settling in and squaring up. He made himself a big basketball target, and he boxed out the defender, allowing him to secure the ball. And the tackle was made by another local product, Mason Bekus, who used to play for the Fratmen. I believe Terrence's younger brother.
Lumley under center, which usually means a run, and it does. And Botkic with a better run, getting about 7 yards on the play.
We're going to see here on the replay, Noel comes from the right side of the field, and Austin, after the play action, takes good depth, steps up into the pocket, and delivers a strike. And as you can see, his body was completely square to him, so he was able to get up nice and high, protect the ball, protect himself, and get a 1st down into the Beefeaters territory as we come on the last play of the opening quarter.
It is 2nd and 1. And back again under center. Lumley with the handoff, and Botkic more than enough, running up the sidelines, run left. He's got 1 man to beat. He gets around. Oh, they're saying he stepped out of bounds. A great run by Armin Botkic. And we'll see what they can do in the 2nd quarter. WindsorAKO Fratmen leading the London Beefeaters 3-0. You're watching OFC football here on WeTV.
Yeah, and just a few minutes ago I mentioned if
All right, welcome back to your 2nd quarter. AKO now driving to the left into the wind. We'll see what Lumley can do here. He's got 2 receivers to his left. Eyeing Steven Russo, but gets the handoff to Botkic. And not much doing there. We'll send it right down to Becca Luden on the field. Becca?
Welcome back. Welcome back to Windsor Stadium, where the Windsor Fratmen host the London Beefeaters. Fratmen currently lead 3-0 at the start of the second. I'm currently here with Joe Picard, the Director of Education for the French Catholic School Board. So just to start off with, how did the partnership between La Jeunesse and AKO come about?
Well, a few years ago, board trustees had mandated the administration and basically told us to make sure that all our facilities are equitable and be comparable across our school board, which goes from Windsor to Woodstock and all the way back down. So seeing that, we started to look at them, and then we realized very quickly that La Jeunesse, we had to get both a football and a soccer field in there. So as we explored possibilities, we were very fortunate to come upon the Fratmen, who were very interested in pursuing a partnership, and that's where we're at today.
Now, speaking about the stadium, we're here at Windsor Stadium right now for the first game, but we're going to be at La Jeunesse for our second home game. How is that progress on the stadium coming?
It's actually progressing quite well. The football standards are in, the stands are in, the grass is growing, and we'll be ready to go.
Awesome. And now, what are the benefits for both sides of this partnership?
Well, we're hoping to develop a long-term relationship with the Fratmen, so the Fratmen will have a place that they can call home, and home for a very long time. What that allows for our kids and for everybody is they will have the opportunity to use the equipment, but as well maybe get a chance to work with WeTV, see how all the technology works, see how you prepare all of those things. So there's both academic and sports benefits for all of us.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Enjoy the rest of the game. Now back to the guys in the booth for the rest of the game.
Thank you, Becca. While we were gone, the Fratmen got a field goal. So the Fratmen lead 6-0. Good kick there.
And some of the important things that transpired were the Beefeaters did not take advantage of their turnover, and the Fratmen, after the interception, were able to gain penetration into the Beefeaters territory and put 3 points up. Although it's only a 6-0 lead, it's still a 6-0 lead, and the Fratmen have now at least capitalized off a mistake from the Beefeaters.
So once again, the Beefeaters electing not to take kickoff, but already we got a flag start on the play, and it looks like, well, it doesn't look like anything.
Well, I saw action on both sides. The left side receiver was well across the line of scrimmage, and the defensive line was across the line of scrimmage for the Fratmen. Now, in this case scenario, they said that the hard count drew the lineman off first, so they're going to walk off 5 yards and give the Beefeaters a 1st and 5.
So 1st and 5 here for Huggins, with 2 receivers to his right and 3 in the backfield. Looks with the handoff, and absolutely going nowhere. It'll be a 2nd and about 7, I would say.
Yeah, and that was just an anchor. Dalton Wilkinson once again created initial pile there. The running back was not able to get any kind of forward lean, and then the rest of the troops just rallied down, and maybe a half-yard gain.
Shaquille Johnson on the run. He's had a couple pretty good runs so far today. He'll go as wide out now. Huggins empty backfield, a quick pitch, and that is caught. See if it's enough for the first down. Kevin Pham on the catch. It is not enough for the first down. It will be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, the Beefeaters are reserved right now to try to get the ball out of the Huggins' hands real quick. All their play calls, all their designs so far have, with the exception of one deep throw, have been to get the ball out of his hands quick, maybe one primary read and throw the ball. But the Fratmen are alert to that. Their speed is right now being a difference because the Beefeaters can't get away from the initial contact on those quick passes.
So Matt Wolf back out. He's getting plenty of punting practice today so far. Harmon Botkich, one of the men back, as we got a flag immediately on the play. And Josh Wright taking the ball, going up midfield, couple jukes. He's got some blocks. He's going to the left. He's going and caught from behind, losing his helmet on the play. Caught from behind by...
Unfortunately, the Fratmen have 13 men on the field. The Beefeaters are going to get a first down here Defense is going to have to stay there. That's another special teams blunder. They've had 2 substitution errors on special teams. There were definitely 13 men on the field for the Fratmen there. So the Beefeaters went from punting the ball on a 3rd and 1 situation to marching their offense right back out on that football field.
So we have the punt recovered by the punter, and now 13 men on the field. Special teams, a bit of an Achilles heel so far for the Fratmen. And the offense will come right back out for the Beefeaters.
And
we have a man down for AKO.
Yeah, these little mistakes compound, and you let a team like London, who is shorthanded right now, they don't have a full roster. I think they ended up dressing 38 for the game, and you leave them in the game long enough where they only need 1 play to win, because that's what we're at right now with a 6-0 lead. And as you can see, it was Dalton Wilkinson getting some attention, and he's been a force in that defensive force unit right now. So we'll see if London notice that their big anchor inside just left, and see if they try to attack the interior of that Fratman defensive line.
So now the ball right by the center line as London is driving. 2 men in the backfield. Huggins airing it deep, looking for Johnson, and it is caught. Shaquille Johnson catching around the 24-yard line. A big first down for the Beefeaters. They're in scoring territory.
And here's the replay. Again, 1 receiver. Quarterback drops back, looks that way, and throws it up. And he allows his receiver to make an athletic play. Jumps up, gets a little separation. That was a very gentle push-off, which they're never going to call, and allowed him to get good position. A good throw to the outside shoulder of the receiver as well.
Empty backfield, 3 receivers to each side now for Huggins. Looks for a short pass, and that is complete, about 8 yards on the play. Catch by number 16, Dakota Vine.
And now you're seeing the Beefeaters get just a little bit of rhythm as they start getting deep into the Fratman territory with a 2nd down and 1. And this is all off of the personnel mistake. 13 men on the field have cost the Fratmen some valuable field position, and we'll see if it costs them some points.
Blake Huggins 11 for 13 so far on the day with just the 1 interception. Looking to his right again, takes a big hit, and Shaquille Johnson, that ball's out of bounds. But big hit. Blake Huggins going down. But he looks to be okay, and it'll be 3rd down.
And that's why they're throwing the ball real quick. That was Dylan Grondin who got some immediate heat and got some good penetration on Huggins as the Beefeaters look like they're bringing out the field goal unit, trying to make this a 3-point game on a 3rd down and 1. Early in the season, you want to see all facets of your game, so I understand why you're going to kick the extra, what amounts to just a little longer than an extra point. But I still like in Canada, it's 3rd down and 1. Let your bigs get the yard for you.
Worst case, the Fratmen would be pinned back. But the kick is up, and a little pooch kit for Matt Wolf. And the Beefeaters on the board 6-3. The Fratmen leading here in the 2nd quarter, 10:24 remaining.
So good stand in the red zone defensively. You don't want to give up points, but if you are going to give up, limit them to field goals. They still nurse a 3-point lead here. You're going to likely see the Fratmen opt to have the Beefeaters kick because they believe they have the better return game. If they're going to challenge and try to kick the ball deep to Wright or Levi, I mean, either way, you're going to have it as you see a cute little picture of a young Fratman fan in our screen.
Hope that baby didn't have to pay to get in. It's too cute. Hey, we're going to see a kickoff. Matt Wolf will be kicking with the wind. 3 men back for the Fratmen. Botkich at center. He's got Nathan Leader on his right, but it will be going straight to Levi Noel. Little trouble grabbing the ball. Fakes the handoff. Going to his left. He's got blockers. He makes the juke, makes a run, another good block. He's in field. He doesn't have anyone touching him. Levi Noel, touchdown, AKO Fratmen.
And that is the fundamental difference between the two teams. It's speed. The Fratmen kicked 2 field goals, opted to scrimmage from the 35-yard line because they don't necessarily have as much confidence in their return game. No hesitation from the Fratmen sideline, as we're going to see the replay here. The kick goes right to Noel, which I'm shocked they're challenging him. Little bobble, fake the reverse, and then Levi does the rest. And you're going to see here he does a nice little hurdle step, and he keeps his balance, and he goes up the sideline. A nice block at the edge, and then the Fratmen just let his speed take over. You're playing with fire when you kick to one of the most talented and fastest players on the field. Kick the ball to anyone else. That is a mistake by the Beefeaters, and it has cost them a touchdown.
Extra point being tried by Clark Green as the Fratmen get a man laid on, and they're going to have to call a timeout to use for an extra point. And Coach Morency absolutely livid.
Yeah, the Beefeaters haven't played a game. So if these substitution errors were happening for London, you could almost make a little bit of an excuse. But the Fratmen have played a game. They have one under their belt. These substitution errors now cost them a timeout. It's cost them 3 points. It's cost them field position. They have to clean that up. They can dominate this game, but they have to eliminate those mental errors because that's all that is, a sheer mental mistake.
Brandon Riem will hold. And Clark Green with about a 35-yard extra point. And the Fratmen lead 13-3. Going back to that kickoff return for a touchdown, we watch a lot of high school ball, and one of the things that I noticed a lot of kids do, they just go for speed right away. And Levi, very smart there, letting his blocks come into play before those bursts of speed.
Talented ball carriers oftentimes have whole field vision. And he saw the whole thing orchestrating in front of him. And by allowing his lateral movement to set up some of those blocks, he was able to easily work his way up the field. And it's not something that everyone can do. That's why not everyone's a return man. Just because you're fast doesn't mean you can do it. But this young man wants to have a crack at the CFL. And one area that he insists on working on is his special teams, which include not only punt returns, but coverages. He wants to be on the kickoff team. He wants to go make the tackle on the if-come that he makes a CFL roster, that he puts him on and he makes a tackle. He might not be on this one having just run 75 yards. He might be a little winded, but that's the kind of commitment he has made to this.
So a lesson for all you kids out there who may be a little dissatisfied being only on special teams. Special teams oftentimes making the difference in these games. As we'll see Clark Green on the kickoff. Can London return the favor? Line drive kick. Picked up by Isaiah Naganga. And he's running up the middle. Won't get as far though.
We have another flag on the field. A Fratman coverage man was offside ahead of the kick, and I'm not sure what the Beefeaters are going to do. They have pretty good field position here. I'm guessing they're just going to take the field position, but we'll wait till we get the official call from Alex Jemmy.
If this is indeed on the Fratmen, by my count, it's 4 special teams errors by the Fratmen so far here in the first half.
And that is in the indication. We have an offsides on the kicking team. And then we have a rough play on the return team. So we'll see how this plays out. It's probably going to be one of those situations where they have the option of taking the yardage and then they move back, or what's going to happen is the Fratmen will have to kick again, and they'll go back 5 for the offsides and then up 15 for the kick. We'll see how they want to exercise this from the Beefeaters' perspective.
While we're waiting for a decision here, bit of a surprise playing this game, as Rebecca was talking earlier, to play this one game here at Windsor Stadium. Are you happy to be back here, Buddy, as for one more game at least? Because this is home for the Fratmen, even if it's under construction.
No, it's a staple. Windsor Stadium has been a landmark. I would venture, I guess, tens of thousands of people have played football here, or even soccer for that matter. It's just someone everyone has a connection to. The whole atmosphere here, there have been a number of huge games played here. The field is in pretty good shape. There has been some work done to it. The middle of the field was resodded. We're pleased that the field is in playable shape, that's for sure. Hopefully it'll get some use in the high school season, so at least that way we can showcase a little bit more of the field.
The renovations we saw in the mock-ups, removing the lights off the field and building a new stand, this place has a lot of potential. As you see the crowd, a couple hundred people here today. Always good to see those early August crowds for football here. Of course, the area excited with the NFL starting up. The Detroit Lions 1-1 to start their preseason. The Lancers winning their exhibition game, I believe, up in York or somewhere.
So let's give you a quick explanation as to how the application of the penalty went. The Fratmen normally kick off from their 45-yard line. They were offside, which moved them back to the 40-yard line. But then the rough play on the Beefeaters moved it up 15 yards, which now has the ball being kicked from the midfield stripe. And that was the worst possible option for the Beefeaters. They really couldn't do much considering that they take a rough play. And this could give the Fratmen an opportunity to really pin the London Beefeaters deep in their own end.
Clark Green all by himself, making sure his team is ready and onside. And take two. High kick to the right side, Naganga. Or no, I'm sorry, that's Derek Coleman. Gets about 10 yards on the play. And London has a ways to go here with 5:50 remaining here in the first half.
So a net loss of probably about 7 yards from their previous return. And the things the Beefeaters have done staying in the game are positive, but mistakes like that they have to avoid in order to stay in this game.
Blake Huggins 11 of 14 so far in the first half with the one interception. He's got three receivers to his right. He's been favoring that side all day with 8 throws there. And this one's just up the middle. Got a flag on the play, but some blocks. Gavin Pham going. More than enough for a first down. We'll see where this flag takes them.
That's usually in the area of roughing the passer. One of the defenders looked like he swatted down and hit the quarterback in the face mask, and he is a protected player. So they're going to pick up about 17 on the screen, well, 14 on the screen, and another 15 on the penalty, and it's going to move the ball near the midfield.
So a big first down for the Beefeaters here. 5:23 remaining now. Definitely want to get some points on the board before halftime. Keep this score close. One man in the backfield for Blake Huggins. Quick pass to the right and a drop. Shaquille Johnson, nobody around him. And it'll be second down.
Yeah, receivers don't oftentimes like to take that tight slip screen so close to the force unit. Linebackers are creeping in. In this case scenario, he took his eyes probably off the ball. We didn't see his eyes. His back was to us, but oftentimes he's worried about the penetration coming from the flow of the linebackers, and he dropped it.
So once again, three receivers to the right of Huggins. Looking deep again. And almost intercepted. You want to talk about a drop. Tyler Story, a ready-made interception. It'll be third down and 10, but man, is he going to kick himself for not catching that.
Yeah, not only was that a drop, that was a potential drop touchdown. There was nothing but straight hash line marks between him and the end zone. My guess is he was probably eyes up thinking he was going to walk this in for a touchdown. Unfortunately, they didn't get it. Well, they do get a punt, though.
So Wright and Botkic back for the punt. It will be Wright. Josh Wright looking at that left side. Gets around his man. Got one to beat. He gets by. Can he juke? He can! A second special teams touchdown. Josh Wright. We talk about the penalties, but man, can they score.
Yeah, it's their speed. I know Dominic and myself talked about that in the pregame show, and he asked me what's one of the factors. And I believe you'll see here on the replay that it's about speed. Kick gets off. Not a terrible kick, not much hang time, so it doesn't give his coverage a lot of time. But you see Josh patiently wait. But once he makes a move, he gets north and south. He protects the ball moving into the outside hand, takes on one defender, jukes him, and up the sideline he goes. He gets one extra key block and springs him. So far, every point has come off of special teams. All field goals and 2 special teams touchdowns. And as you see, the Fratmen are lining up to try to make it a 20-3 advantage.
Clark Green once again for the kick. And we're definitely going to get a roughing the kicker call there. But the extra point will count. We'll see where they put the ball.
My bigger concern with that is, yeah, of course he roughed the kicker. But if I'm Coach LaChance, I'm saying, how does a man penetrate the interior of your block unit there? That guy came straight up the gut. I'm shocked it wasn't blocked. Because if it's blocked, he can hit the kicker. So you see the rough play. It's going to add on 15 yards to the kickoff. So the Fratmen are going to end up kicking from the Beefeaters side of the field here. But special teams and penalties have been a huge story. And fortunately, it hasn't hurt the Fratmen. Their mistakes have been very, very minimally capitalized on by the Beefeaters. And if the Beefeaters aren't careful, Coach Annan might be in a situation where this game could get away from him in the first half, because the Beefeaters, if they don't get any yards here, could give up and surrender some more points on another punt.
I apologize. The lights on the scoreboard, it's a little hard to tell how much time's left. There's actually 6:25 remaining here in the second quarter. Bonus football, folks. See if AKO can get this kickoff on the first try. And once again, excellent kicking positions here for Clark Green. He will be kicking to London inside their own territory, placing the ball on the London 50-yard line.
Don't be surprised to see a little bit of a pooch kick, one where he's only trying to advance at about 25 yards, because they're going to have great coverage to this short side of the field, and if it takes a favorable bounce, you never know, the Fratmen could recover an onside. I would not be surprised at all if this ball is kicked to the up back, or one of the up backs, number 9 it looks like for the Beefeaters, and that's Xander Hazel.
So big kickoff. Going to be taken by DeGonga, going towards his left, runs into coverage though. And he'll get to about the 16-yard line, and a lot of field for the Beefeaters to cover here with 6:19 remaining here in the second quarter. Well, at this pace, they're looking to outscore what they did against Hamilton in week 1 at home. 20 first half points. You can't expect much more for AKO so far this game. But did you expect 20 first half points all off special teams?
Well, I think that's the bigger concern right now for Coach LaChance. His offense hasn't generated any kind of continuity and rhythm, and really your special teams have obviously put you where you are, but you want to find that offensive rhythm.
Ball spotted on the 15. And a handoff not going anywhere except for a little bit of Rugstrom. Great second effort, though.
Yeah, a little rugby scrum there. Ended up moving the pile forward for what amounts to about a 3.5, 4-yard gain.
That's Kevin Pham on the run.
But there's 2 people we haven't seen on the field in quite a while. Dalton Wilkinson has not returned to the interior of that defensive line, and we haven't seen Noel come back. And Noel Levi, Levi Noel, he hasn't been back in the game since his long return, not even on a couple of the returns that the Fratmen were set up for.
So a big 2nd and 6 here. And the catch is made by Lee Purnell, trying to wrestle the ball out of his hands, but more than enough for the first down.
And don't be surprised if you start seeing Josh Wright creeping up on that play. They've thrown that boundary throw. They've thrown it to the field, and it's a long throw when it's to the field side. And he's not worried about the overtop presence from number 89 of the Beefeaters. So you're going to see Josh creep up a little bit sooner than later, and he might jump one.
Runs back fast and just throwing it on the ground.
Yeah,
the second and 10.
The Beefeaters were trying to set up a screen, but some immediate pressure there forced Huggins to throw the ball right into the ground there at the feet of one of his linemen, avoiding an interception.
Looking at about 6 and change here in the second quarter. It's Huggins, low snap. Tossing in, good job by Justin Smith coming back to make the catch. And it'll be really close to the first down marker. We'll see where they mark this.
Yeah, the pressure is getting to the Beefeaters a little bit. They got a man down, hobbling one of their offensive linemen. It looks like they're going to call out a measurement here, which is going to save the Beefeaters from possibly having to make a player substitution, giving them time to recover. But every play now, you're seeing Huggins having to pick himself off the ground. And slowly but surely, those hits pile up and mount on, and you get a little gun shy. And here you're going to get a nice look here of the sticks being brought out.
I think he's got it by the hair of his chinny chin. Yes, first down, London Beefeaters.
Great work by the camera crew. Couldn't have gone a better angle there, and they showed it right to the nose of the football. And that's all you need. You don't need it to be over entirely. You just need the nose of the ball to gain the line.
As we approach 8 p.m. here at Windsor Stadium and the shadows going away. Huggins throwing to his left. Another catch there by Justin Smith trying to get around his tackle. And he'll be close to another first down. He will get the first down. Justin Smith, 2 straight great catches.
Yeah, this is a very good drive right now for the Beefeaters. Started in their own end, well in their own end. They picked up a couple first downs here. It looks like they've gotten another first down here as they get near midfield. And more importantly, it's eating up some of the clock. It's taking a little bit of the momentum away from the Fratmen. And let's not forget, the Fratmen offense hasn't been on the field at all pretty much in this quarter. It's been all defense and special teams. So this Fratmen defense could very well be getting tired, not necessarily by poor play, just because their special teams have put them back on the field 2 quick times.
Huggins 15 for 21 so far in the first half. Another pass and another interception! Eric Lovis is going to return this. Now the defense getting in on the scoring. Touchdown, AKO Fratmen.
And that has to be squarely on the quarterback. So far, Huggins has not looked off a single receiver. He's eyeballed his receiver, and you're going to see here, as he gets the ball, his head goes straight left, and it stays left. Well, you get a linebacker. They're not dumb. They're smart. They're going to see that. Linebacker is going to expand to his hook curl area. As he's expanding, his eyes are on the quarterback, and he walked right in front of that in perfect stride, secured the ball up the sideline, 60-yard score, and the Fratmen are now piling it on defense, as you mentioned.
Eric Lovis, the starting outside linebacker for the Fratmen. Great eyes there. And another successful extra point by Clark Green, and the score now, the WindsorAKO Fratmen 27, the London Beefeaters 3 with 4:53 or 8. I think that's an 8 here at Windsor Stadium on a beautiful Saturday night, I might add. We did those. Oh, is that a baby in a Lions jersey? That's adorable.
True fan there.
I lost all my train of thought when I see a baby being raised right.
That's it. Go Lions as they start their 2015 campaign.
Hopefully in that baby's lifetime he'll see a playoff win.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're we're on our way to a Fratmen home win here, and I
Whoa,
don't
whoa,
want to
whoa,
call
whoa!
it.
It's the first half.
Absolutely, I don't want to call it early, but I think the key here right now for the Fratmen is not to get complacent and not to let mistakes happen. You clean up all your substitution errors, stay focused. That sideline needs to stay up and stay focused. Every single play is going to matter down the stretch, and if you are going to start making some substitutions early in the game, and maybe it's a little too early now, every player has to remain engaged.
Well, no substitution for Clark Green. He is the team's kicker, and another live kick taken by Naganga. And he goes up right in the middle and hits a couple Fratmen right in the face. He's taking quite his licks so far today.
Yeah, a positive run. I mean, they're going to get the ball at their own 30-yard line. There's nothing like that. The key here being mistakes on their offense. They had a great drive going, and they gave momentum right back to the Fratmen. They have to get some more first downs here and have to try to kill this clock. They can't let the Fratmen's offense get one more crack and maybe get a little momentum for themselves.
Blake Huggins now 2 interceptions on the day. He has no choice but to start to throw to make up this deficit, but that will definitely be in his head. 3 receivers to his left. Makes the pass, and do we have another interception? It is! Interception, AKO number 31, Trey Hill.
Again, same idea. In this case, the linebacker came screaming. It could very well have been Lovis again. You'll see here on the replay that the Fratmen are jumping all the underneath stuff here. Huggins looks square left, and he winds up and he throws. And no, in this case, it was number 17 for the Fratmen, Tyler Story, who initially got in the way of the receiver, and then Trey Hill gets that tip, catches the ball, and sets up the Fratmen offense, who haven't been on the field in some time right now and haven't had much success. Let's see if the Fratmen offensive line and the whole offense can get rolling here.
Trey Hill's second interception of the day. An empty backfield here for Lumley, looking to his right. Open, but not much doing there. That's Cody St. Pierre on the effort.
That was a mistake by Austin. He had him. Cody was open. That ball has to be thrown to the pylon. You see that orange pylon in the corner of the end zone. He has to throw it over his outside shoulder and allow Cody to keep expanding his separation from the defensive back. I guarantee you Austin wants that one back.
Sun now low enough that there are no shadows. The stadium lights on here at Windsor Stadium. 2nd and 10. Ball at the 36 here. And he'll go with just a single, Lumley will go with a single receiver to his left. Now running out of the pocket, running. Dawson, great catch! Nathan Leader all by himself on the play. More than enough for a first down, but we have a flag in the backfield. We'll see where this is going, and it is on the Fratmen.
The indication is, I think, illegal use of the hands. It might have been one of the linemen getting their hands up in the face of the Beefeaters defensive line, and that is a costly penalty. As you said, a great catch by Leader, but an even better play by Austin Lumley. He had to scramble out, roll to his left, kept his eyes down the field, turned his shoulders, and delivered a strike to his receiver. That's something you can build on. Obviously, the penalty negates that, but when you see it on film, you can get some real good coaching points for Austin, saying, good job keeping your eyes down the field. But they've really dug himself a big hole here, as it's going to be 2nd down and...
I'd say like 26.
It's 25, because that's
25.
A 15-yard walk-off.
So we'll see what they do here. So the referee's still getting everything clear. What's going on here, buddy?
Well, I think they just want to get clarification of the downs, because you see a couple of the sideline guys coming in, so one of the guys must not have had 2nd down, but it is indeed 2nd down.
Gotcha. So McCann right side. And Lumley, great fake. Looking deep and a good catch there. Won't be anywhere close for a first down, but some positive yards. Cody St. Pierre on the catch. 3rd and long. And I definitely don't think we're in field goal territory here, buddy.
Yeah, I like the play call. I like the idea of getting some sort of play action, even though it's not as obvious that you're on second down and 25. But I think for the rhythm of the receivers to work on it, they might try a long one. It's going to be close to a 50-yard kick, which is just on the edge of the range. But the more prudent play is to punt, of course.
Ball on the 38 as we're at the 3-minute warning here. And it looks like a punt or a very long drop kick. And Green will kick to his right side. Away from Naganga. Picked up by Derek Coleman, he's got that whole right side of the field looking for some speed. And a great job by number 55, Eric Lovis. He's got that pick 6 and then doing a great job keeping up with him and making the tackle.
Now, that sideline was available for him, but the Fratmen speed was able to close that down real quickly. As you said, Lovis was able to come up and stretch that play, forcing the Beefeaters to go laterally, then up the field. And whenever you get a guy running 30 yards sideways for a 2-yard gain, you've done your job as a coverage unit.
So the Beefeaters at time pinned back to their own 10-yard line with 2:35 remaining here in the first half. Of course, we'll have Dominic Papa and the gang for the halftime show here at Windsor Stadium. Huggins looking to his right, quick pass, and Shaquille Johnson in and out of his hands, his second straight drop. Going to be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Annan, the one thing I would want to do is not get away from my game plan. At this point in time, you're not worried about winning the game right now. You're worried about staying in the game. Run the ball, kill some of this clock. The clock stopped at 2:30. The Fratmen still have one timeout. And if there's another incomplete pass, you're going to give the Fratmen a timeout and some real good field position unless you can see the safety, which then means you're likely going to have to kick off to a very dangerous return team.
He will throw and just air it deep for Johnson. And not long enough for Johnson. Good job on the breakup there by number 32, Jason Kelly. And it'll be a quick 2-and-out for the Beefeaters.
And if you notice there, it looked like Jason could have made a play on the ball, but understanding the down and distance and where he is, look, you know what, I'm going to bat that down. I'm going to force the Beefeaters to do one of two things. Concede the 2-point safety right now, or punt the ball. Now, you're punting the ball to guys who've already scored twice. He doesn't need to make the acrobatic interception. You just say, knock it down, make sure it doesn't get tipped and anything crazy happen. And now look where the return men are set up. They're set up well into the Beefeater end.
So this game been all special teams so far, with the exception of the pick 6. And they concede the safety. A smart move by Matt Wolf there with 2:24 left, and now it is 29-3 in favor of the AKO Fratmen.
And I'm pretty sure the AKO sideline is instructing the officials to make the Beefeaters kick. And this kick isn't from the 45, it's from the 35 now, which means the Fratmen are going to have even better field position if they don't already return it for a touchdown here.
You know, I think back to that November championship game when we were freezing. This is an absolutely beautiful day for football, and fans soaking it up here at Windsor Stadium.
Yeah, you couldn't have asked for a better night. The wind is not a factor. Neither team can complain about it. There's no rain. The field isn't sloppy where people are slipping. The quarterbacks can't say they don't have grip on the ball. Everything is classic fall weather. However, we're in summer.
This is still summer weather. No, this is beautiful breezes. We'll take this while we can still get it, especially when we see it snowing in Calgary. Insanity. So 29-3, the Fratmen leading, and the offense is going to try and get some points here in the first half. Matt Wolf, who's got to have a tired leg with the kickoff. That'll be taken by Nathan Leader. Nice job on the fake, going on the right side, up to the 40. And did he fumble? He fumbled. The ball recovered by the Fratmen. They'll take the ball at the 42-yard line with 2:13 remaining here in the first half.
And they tried to use a little bit of a decoy from Levi Noel on the little end around, and the Fratmen did get some pretty good field position with 2:13 and only one timeout, because remember they had to burn a timeout on an extra point earlier in the game because of personnel issues. But if Coach LaChance wants to see something special from his offense, these are the kind of situations. Put score aside. 2:13, you got a game to play. You got your offense on the field with one timeout. Can you get in scoring zone? Field goal or touchdown, doesn't matter what, but can you get in scoring zone?
Lumley with McCann to his right. Looking for the pass. Is a quick pass. Cody St. Pierre. Or no, I'm sorry. That's Omar William Hayes. On the catch, his first catch of the day.
Big receiver.
Second down.
He's a big receiver out of Massey. He's capable of also making a move and getting up the sideline. You can expect the Fratmen to set up some sort of slip screen out of that after they fake that little bubble hitch and slip a receiver up the sideline soon.
So it'll be 2nd and 6 here as we're finally inside 2 minutes. 3 receivers to the right of Lumley. And just the handoff to McCann. He's got the first down. Looking for more up into the 50-yard line. A great run by Cody McCann.
Yeah, a real nice run. Inside run. They caught the Beefeaters defense in a little bit more of a coverage setup considering the time on the clock. And the Fratmen took advantage of it with 1:40 and counting and still that timeout in their hip. They're only about 15 yards away from relatively comfortable field goal range for Clark. So the good things are happening right now for the Fratmen offense.
Just one receiver to the right of Lumley. Yeah, opts to hand it off to McCann again. He's got an open middle field. McCann gets the block. Looking, stepping, going, juking. Touchdown, AKO Fratmen. The offense scores.
Yeah, the offense did, and they committed to that read option. And if we get a replay here, what you're going to see is Austin riding the handoff to Cody and holding it in, and you'll see here on the replay that the handoff comes in, and watch how long Austin stays with it. And then he lets Cody make the move because he always have a pass option off of that. Cody this time does a good job of securing the ball, keeping his balance, and taking it to a 50-yard touchdown run.
Clark Green again in for an onside kick. He's had a bevy of practice for this today. And it is good. 36-3. They have now outscored their entire game against Hamilton with 1:12 left here in the second quarter.
On the heels of a long touchdown run with a big power back, it's with great sadness that the Fratmen lost one of their own earlier this year. Nick Romaine, an All-Canadian with the Fratmen, was the National Player of the Year, a tremendous football player, an even better person. About 3 weeks ago or so lost his life, and it is with great sadness that all of the football fraternity here in Essex County, Windsor, does give their condolences. Nick was an excellent football player. He wore it with pride. He loved playing football. He loved coaching football. He was actually in the London area coaching football the last handful of years, and he will be sadly missed. What a tremendous talent. And like I said, he was such a good person. That big smile for years coaching him here. I had the pleasure of working with him. My times here with Coach LaChance, we coordinated an offense designed specifically around him and a big power running back. And it's only fitting that we had a big power back run for a touchdown, and it really reminded me of the types of runs that Nick Romaine had. A big bruising back who could keep his balance and have some speed. Rest in peace, my friend. You are a talent, and you will be dearly missed.
Ngonga getting to 31 in the kickoff. Yeah, tremendous loss to the area. If you didn't have a chance to watch him play, he ran the gauntlet pretty much in local play. He played high school ball with Holy Names, of course. He played some football with the Essex Ravens, also, of course, playing here at the AKO Fratmen and the Windsor Lancers. And it's just 31's too young.
Yeah, and and like you said, he touched a lot of the sports. He loved the game that much, and there was no bias one way or the other. He played for everyone, and all the people who coached him know that he was a talented person, an even better person, talented player, and even better person.
Hand off there to Kevin Pham, getting a few yards as we're under a minute. I know AKO will be honoring his legacy as the season goes on.
Yeah, he wore number 19 for the Fratmen, and I do remember countless times just watching him make plays out of nothing and taking the team on his back. He flat out was the man his senior year with us, and it's a sad day. It was sorry to see him go.
Nothing doing there for the Beefeaters. It'll be third down as we hit 30 seconds.
Nice to see Dalton Wilkinson back in the game. He made that tackle. He left early in this quarter, and he made his return now in the last minute of the first half, with the Fratmen leading 36-3, and one more opportunity to put points on the board with specials.
Poor Matt Wolf. He's had a very busy game today, and when your kicker's having a busy game that's not extra points, it's not a good thing, as the Beefeaters a 33-point as they will be kicking. Josh Wright to the left, and Nathan Leader to the right. High kick, learning their lesson last time, and Josh Wright, take it, gets by one man, and waiting for his blocks. There's a flag on the play, but Josh Wright make another good run. Jukes, and he'll be down around the 28, and more flags come out. We're going to see two different penalties, and a man down also for London.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're going to see a block in the back from the Fratmen, but that was a trip. Josh Wright was kicked down, so I believe you're going to get a tripping call. I think that's what I saw. Now, I'm not sure if it was the injured man who maybe stuck his leg out and is feeling it, but it looked like Josh was tripped on the play. So we'll see the combination of penalties, and with 2 seconds left, the Fratmen are going to get at least one more play.
Kevin Griffiths, the man down for London. You'll see a replay here.
You'll see on the replay as he works up the left sideline here, and you can't kick your leg out. And see how he stuck his leg out? And he's the injured man, number 13. So he could have bruised his shin. That is a very dangerous play for both yourself and for the other person. It is something that is not something a coach wants to see for either player whatsoever.
As we have this pause in the action, we'll remind everyone, subscribe to our YouTube channel here on WeTV. You can see all our archive games, including last year's championship win over the Hamilton Hurricanes. And of course, keep subscribed, as we'll have all the action here at home at Windsor Stadium and AKO La Jeunesse for this AKO Fratmen season. They're looking for a three-peat here in the OFC. Now, Badia, as we wait for some medical attention here. Of course, last year, AKO winning the title, but having no game against the Quebec team or national title team. Has any of that been resolved for this season?
I'm not sure there's anything formally written down, but that can play itself out a little later. I think that's the furthest thing on the minds of Coach Lachance and Coach Morency. They want to get to that conference championship game and successfully defend it for
no, but what I mean is, has the league had any chance to
there's
discuss
nothing
this?
Because right now it's just the Ontario Football League. There's no Quebec team affiliated with the Ontario Football Conference or the CJFL as it stands right now.
Okay.
So if there is another game, I'm not sure what the parameters would be, some sort of exhibition-style game. As of now, there is no affiliation with an Eastern Conference or Quebec team. There is still the Prairie Conference and the BC Conference, but there will not be crossover against them because they have not increased their age limit. So that's why the Ontario Conference is standing alone as it sits right now.
That's a shame. I recall that game, the Fratmen playing the team from BC, and yeah, it didn't work out in the Fratmen's favor at all, but Still exciting to see a national championship game as we have 2 seconds left here. And Lumley, why not? Goes deep and intercepted. It's Isaiah Naganga, and he's looking for some blocks on the right side. He'll just go out of bounds. Tackled by Corey Bezaire. A valiant effort, but the AKO Fratmen will be successful in this first half. 36 points, especially their special teams. We're going to throw it down for some halftime action. You're watching the AKO Fratmen on WeTV.
Rachel, I never realized that your mother suffered from lupus.
Yeah, it is a chronic disease, and I've seen my mom go through long-term remissions, and then I've seen her almost die. So I really hope they can find a cure so other people don't have to go through this.
There are more than 50,000 Canadians living with lupus, and this number increases each year. To learn more about lupus and how you can help, go to lupuscanada.org.
What will your last 10 years look like? Will you be quick enough for a game of tag with your grandchild? Strong enough to embrace every moment? Will you grow old with vitality? Or get old with disease? It's time to decide. The average Canadian will spend their last 10 years in sickness. Change your future at makehealthlast.ca.
Welcome back to the halftime report here at the Windsor Stadium. OFC football on we-tv.ca. The AKO Fratmen doing battle with the London Beefeaters. And after 30 minutes of play, oh boy, my, the AKO Fratmen looking really strong right now. 36-3 lead over the Beefeaters. Badia Kwas, our analyst, helping us out here with our halftime report. I don't want to say I'm not too surprised, Badia, but 36-3, I certainly didn't expect that.
Yeah, it is a little bit out of control right now. The Fratmen speed is on showcase right now. They are out racing the Beefeaters in just about every facet of the game. Their special teams have dominated the game. Their defense has got on board, and obviously you saw that last touchdown run from Cody McCann put their offense on the board. So it has been a pretty dominant performance for the Fratmen.
Right. We're going to check in with Becca Luden out in the field. She's got some of the coaches, and we'll check in with her right now to see who she has and what they have to say about the first half of play. Becca?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Joel Archer, the receiving coach for the Fratmen. So a little slower start in the first, but picked it up in the second. What were your overall thoughts on that first half of the game?
Yeah, we started a little bit slow, but then our defense and special teams really picked it up. Levi had a great return. Josh Wright had some good returns. So the offense, we didn't get too many possessions, but the defense and special teams really picked it up.
Now, going into the second half, what does the offense need to do in order to get some offensive play?
Just got to get first downs, keep moving the chains, just try to keep positive plays, not shoot ourselves in the foot.
All right, thanks. Have a good rest of the game. That's everything from down here on the field. I'll send it back to the guys in the studio.
London coaching staff have a lot to talk about in the locker room here at halftime, Badi. You know, the coach mentioned there, we got to stay positive, you know, take it a step at a time here. You know about coaching. What are they going to say to the guys? And, you know, your team got pounded pretty good in that first half, but, you know, do you try to draw a positive somewhere?
Well, absolutely. It first starts with the coaching staff. You can't dismiss your game plan because of one half of football and, on top of it, your first half of football. Stay with what you're trying to accomplish to identify what type of team you are. Don't just reserve and throw the ball just because you're down so far. Execute your game plan. Try to find key players and put them in the best position to win, and go out and try to close the gap. Whether you win or lose, it doesn't matter at this point. It's your first game. So you as coaches can't try to expect to mount this major comeback right now. What you have to do is play a second half of football like it's 0-0 and find some rhythm that you can build on for next week.
Was there anything in that first half that you saw, Badi?
You do not want to do something to compromise your ability to play out a full 8-game season. If you get suspended and you have to sit out a game, something is never going to evolve positive for you. Coaches are going to be all over you. There's a late little bluster skirmish there. It looked like the penalty's only one-sided here, which if the officials feel it was, listen, you were initiated and we're going to get you, so be it. I don't mind there being a one-sided call, but you're giving them downs and you're giving them life here.
One thing I'd like to see, it's impossible to have a perfect schedule in a 7-team league, but if you're a team who had a bye on the first week, you should be playing a team who had a bye on the first week in your first week. It's a little bit unfortunate that London had to take on a team like AKO who already had a game to get their stuff in order, but the schedule is the schedule. And we do play on. Toss to the right side. That is caught by number 11, Brandon Banowich.
Yeah, there's no perfect solution. There's no way you can say if it wasn't the Fratmen, maybe it's Grand River, and you got to ease your game. There's no easy games. You got to play everybody. You get them out of the way, but the key is play all 8 games. Don't get yourself ejected. Both teams. In that case, that was a penalty against the Fratmen. Don't compromise the rest of your season.
Burlington, the team with the bye week this week, is now a big 2nd and 5. And it looks like we have a man down for the Beefeaters yet again.
Yeah, and it was real late. They had already gotten the line of scrimmage. They almost snapped it, but it must be just a cramp or something.
That's number 11, Brandon Labanowicz.
And he's the one who just caught the ball.
This is very unfortunate to see for this Beefeaters team. So many men go down.
Looks like they're looking at the inside of his foot, his ankle, but we didn't see anything on the initial play, and he got up and he lined up to run the play, and then all of a sudden he went down.
We're going to remind everyone here, our next game happening in 2 weeks. The Grand River Predators come to town, take on the WindsorAKO Fratmen. That game is a 2 p.m. kickoff, Saturday, September 12th. Tune in here on Wii TV for all the action. So the injured man coming off the field. And it is number 84, Jordan Irwin, coming in. Substitute. A big 2nd and 5 here. As London fighting for respect. And Irwin now going off the field. And we have a timeout called by the Beefeaters because their personnel was not in order with 2:36 remaining here in the 4th quarter.
And that's just fine. You're coaching your team.
Okay, commercial. We'll be right back with the finish of this game. This is the London versus WindsorAKO football game here on Wii TV.
Tom is trying to justify buying a new car. That should do it.
Need a good reason? There's never been a better time to get yourself into the best-selling car in Canada for 17 years. Now during the Honda Model Clearout, get a $1,000 Civic bonus when you finance any new 2015 Civic model.
Welcome back. 36 remaining here in the fourth quarter. The WindsorAKO Fratmen leading 39-3 over the visiting London Beefeaters. Brian Thompson, Beefeaters on the call. As we have another flag. But, another drop. It looked like finally a touchdown for the Beefeaters, but Shaquille Johnson just couldn't get a handle on it. We'll see what that flag is now. It's been that kind of night for the Beefeaters.
I don't know if that was a drop, though. I think Tyler Story got a fingertip on that. I think he deflected that just enough to throw it off line. But the flag here...
Let's see on the replay here who's right.
All right, there's the
Low
challenge.
snap.
It's been thrown out. Here's the replay. And Tyler Story gets a fingertip on it and knocks it down. So that's a batted ball that goes down as the stat. So, you know, the old coach's eyes can still see a little bit.
Does that mean the first round's on me now?
Well, I'd say 3, but that's okay.
At least. Bowman thrown up center, and again, ball thrown well short of the intended receiver. And AKO will take over. No offensive points for this London Beefeaters coming into Windsor Stadium, as AKO will try and run out the clock here in the fourth quarter. Albany, I came in worrying about the field conditions in this game, even with nice weather, just because we all know about Windsor Stadium. But it's held up pretty well today in this game.
Yeah, their speed has been on display, and that's a credit to not only their talent but the surface. It is actually very playable right now, and we haven't seen people slipping and sliding, and they've been able to manage to utilize that speed to their advantage.
Brandon Riem with the handoff. Couldn't tell who got the run there. It was number 29, Cody Vizaire. So who'd your player of the game be today, Biddy?
Well, I think the person who's had the most impact early in the game and set the tone, he caught one pass up the sideline, took it for 15, had a tremendous jumping high catch over the middle and took a hit for about 25-yard gain, and then had that electrifying return for a touchdown on the kick. And my guess is it'd be Levi Noel.
I would give it to the entire special teams today. Just an excellent job for them. But, yeah, definitely Levi Noel, as you'll see Brandon Riem fight for his life. And we'll take a loss on the play.
Yeah, that was not blocked very well up front. I know they made a couple changes up front, and Brandon really didn't have much time. They didn't show that action, that bootleg action didn't really sell first full flow the other way, so he was not able to get the defense to suck in, and unfortunately the back end pressure caught up to Brandon because he couldn't get around the containment.
So Spencer Bowman will get another chance. With the clock under, just now going to be under a minute 30. Fratmen, will they kneel here?
No, you have to practice. In this case scenario, it's a good opportunity for you to get your coverage team on and get some kicking practice.
Good high kick there, and Ngonga will take it back. And he'll take a loss on the play. Flag on the play too, and another. As now we have a Fratman down.
Yeah, that was first of all, that was a great kick.
Dalton Gilmore was the one struggling to get up.
And then that was great coverage. He went sideways for 20 yards, ended up losing a yard. There was a block in the back, and I believe there was a late hit against the Beefeaters as well. So you might see this ball go from the midfield stripe all the way back down to the 25-yard line of the Beefeaters.
And that is the way the referee is taking the ball.
So we got a block in the back, and we got an unnecessary roughness against the Beefeaters. So That's what it is, and it just hasn't been going well for them. But again, at the end of the game, don't do anything stupid. You have a full season ahead of you.
Well, kids will be kids.
Yeah, but there's still some real important lessons to be learned, and these guys have to understand that their actions impact the framework of a season. You have to be able to trust your players in these situations.
Bowman looking up the middle, and he will just be eaten alive in the pocket. Number 96, Hassan Mustafa, get credit for the sack there. And yeah, just that kind of night for the Beefeaters. But the defense has to be credited here by the Fratmen.
Yeah, no doubt. And the 3 points that the London Beefeaters capitalized on was that fumble. They were able to, or off the special teams blunder that cost them the play. They had too many men on the field, and they were able to capitalize and get 3 points. I know Coach Morency wants that shutout. The players want that shutout. They don't want to give up anything. They've been resilient. Second half, they've shut them out.
That's second sack of the game. As he throws up the middle, we have more flags on the play.
Yeah.
See what the call is here.
I've been wrong on this call, but I swear that was offsides against the Beefeaters on the top, but they're calling it against the Fratmen again. I'm still seeing a receiver at the top side of the field across the line of scrimmage. I'm not saying that the defense wasn't either, but there's always a grace. A receiver has a 1 yard grace to time the snap. So, but all in all, the officials have done a masterful job. This has not been out of control. They've made the right calls and applied the right penalties at all frameworks of the game. So they've been the least of the concerns of either team.
Bowman just airing it out deep, see what happens. And no interception. A valiant effort there by Trey Hill, but just not enough real estate to work with on the sidelines. But the Fratmen will take the ball, and this should come the end of the game. And what a game it has been for the Fratmen. They will move to 2-0 on the season. And that big drive up to Ottawa to take on a Sooners team. Never any love lost when Windsor plays Ottawa in any sport.
No, not at all. It seems like Windsor is always the rivalry game against everybody. This is the short trip, the 401 ride down and up to London, back to Windsor. But everyone seems to be primed and just jacked to play Windsor.
Botkic up the middle and showing there's no end to his game, getting the ball away to 38, and that will be the end of it. The AKO Fratmen dominant from start to finish. Are we going to have one more play here?
I don't think there is. There is a flag on the play, but the
It's
referees
over.
are going to likely use their best judgment and whistle this over.
So thank everyone for tuning in. It has been one heck of a game for the Fratmen. They walk away 2-0, a 39-3 win over the visiting London Beefeaters. When we come back, Becca Luden and the post-game show. You're watching the AKO Fratmen on WeTV.
Manpower. That's our specialty. We use it to build infrastructure, like the $1 billion Parkway. That's real manpower in action. End to end, over 1,000 strong, forming bridges, carving out tunnels, shaping roadways. Our manpower is in demand. Well trained, highly skilled, tough as nails. We've got what it takes to build your career. A solid career for building a better future. LiUNA. Feel the power.